Skywalker Friday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi. We will play with the latest iteration of All Good One's Easy Meditation. Just as the gym teachers of junior high insisted we warm up before our workout and then cool down before we hit the showers, we're going to follow a similar pattern with this morning's sadhana, or practice text. The view of reality that supports letting go is the first fold of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. It is known by many names, including Mahayoga's Wisdom Warm-Up. By the way, isn't this a lovely watercolor? I stumbled upon this yesterday. So we'll begin with an explanation. We'll begin by chanting an explanation of the 12-syllable mantra. Together. I invoke teachers on loving action, on mindfulness and meditation, as well as the Hungvi supporting release and that the Benzatantric. Guru teaches Pema enlightenment and siddhi abilities who may be mastered by all. Together. Rather than indulge or controlling tendencies with all follies of active visualization, emotion, magic, and belief. Now, there seems to be a challenge. So this is an editing opportunity. So let's see how well this fits. A little bit too loud. So let's adjust that to 14. See how that works. Better. Okay, so a little to the right. Excellent. All right, let's continue. Let us therefore sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphors or statements literal, and relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. Let us keep track of our first of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions. By touching the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left index finger and resting our left hand upon our left thigh. Doing so gently invites our subtle energies to coalesce at our crown. May we see how all circumstances or lots as appearing yet void as a paradise of light could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this body or form. Now, this is again an editing opportunity, so let's see. This is at 28. What happens if I set it to 29? Okay, so I'm going to adjust the display. Fabulous. And we're going to drag this image down a little bit. A little bit more. Fabulous. So we're going to take all these words and allow them to coalesce into just 6 syllables that we're going to divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. During our inhalation, we're going to silently and mentally recite these exact same syllables. During our exhalation, we're going to physically relax as best we can, while striving to recite this 12-syllable mantra 3 times per breath. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Masiri Hung. 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 To keep track of our second of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions. Whoopsie, wrong button. We could rest the tip of our left thumb upon the tip of its left middle finger and rest this left hand upon its left thigh. Doing so could gently invite our subtle energies to coalesce in the heart region of our chest. Welcome aboard to this morning's live stream. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. May we feel how all bodies or forms as sensual yet void as a Buddha's archetype of light could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this communication or speech. Om Ahum Benzo Guru Me Masiri Hung. 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 To keep track of our third of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions, we could gently touch the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left ring finger, and then rest this left hand upon our left thigh, gently inviting our subtle energies to coalesce in the navel region of our mid-abdomen. May we hear how all interpersonal speech is resounding and void as a mantra of light could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if it could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into this mind. Om Ahum Guru Me Maziri Hum. 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 To keep track of our 4th of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions, we could touch the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left little finger, and then rest this left hand upon our left thigh. Doing so could gently invite our subtle energies to coalesce in the bladder region of our lower abdomen. May we feel how all minds as lucid yet void as a seed hung of light could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into our vast empty mind. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although tantalizing to the eye, could be not graspable to the hand. Om Ahum Guru Me Maziri Hum. 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 Welcome to this morning's live stream. As we breathe in, we silently and mentally recite, "Feel minds melt into void." Now that is a rather concise version of this recitation. Together, May we feel how all minds as lucid, yet for us a seed hung of light could be as impermanent and interdependent, as if they could blissfully melt into rainbow light that could delightfully absorb into a vast empty void. Like the illusion of the infinite azure sky on a bright and beautiful cloudless morn, which, although tantalizing to the eye, could be not graspable to the hand. So I think you would agree that trying to recite these 2 pages silently during one inhalation would make you turn blue, tip over, wiggle funny, and scare the dog. And it would be much easier to silently and mentally recite this essentialization of that which we just chanted. It's only 6 syllables long, and we're going to divide it between our inhalation and our exhalation. We now turn to our mantra meditation. During the inhalation, we repeat those exact same 6 syllables. During our exhalation, we do 2 things. We physically relax as best we can while striving to chant this 12-syllable mantra 3 times per breath. Om Ahum Guru Mema Ziri Hung. Om Ahum Guru Mema Ziri Hung. Om Ahum Guru Mema Ziri Hung. And that's how simple enlightenment is. Noticing and releasing in harmony with our breathing. We're already wired to notice and release thanks to the inner workings of our sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. But because of their conditioning, our brain often ignores it or just tries to repress it. By blending our intention to notice and release with our mechanical actions of inhaling and exhaling, we are helping to retrain the mind to actually cooperate with the autonomic nervous system. Having said that, we are about to turn to the 7th and 8th folds of the Buddha's Eightfold Path, which could be described as Hatha Yoga's mindfulness and meditation, after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School for more than 30 years. I've spent about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that you would not have to. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Consider Luke Skywalker's speeder on Tatooine. It can be likened to mindfulness and meditation. But the secret that makes it work so very well is the force with which it levitates. Our version of that would be Anu Yoga's energy work. There are many forms of energy work. I found that the mudra, or finger gesture oriented energy work, is the most efficient. So over the next several minutes, we're going to be practicing 4 collections of 64 rounds or 64 breaths. We're going to divide that between our left hand and our right hand as 8 sets of 8 repetitions, just like you might do at the gym. Over the span of 8 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb thusly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 repetitions. Over the span of 64 breaths, we could advance our left thumb. 1 set of 8 reps, 2 sets of 8 reps, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 8 reps, for a total of 64. We are going to gather 4 collections of 64. We keep track of that first collection by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right little finger upon the tip of our left little finger and placing these two hands palms up in our lap so that our thumbs can happily count. Now you might say, dude, this seems pretty complex. And the answer is yes. Yes, it is. But repetition is the mother of skill. Come to these live streams once every 12 hours, and within a week or two, you could master every technique in this practice. So we've learned how to play with our fingers. We've learned what to do with our lungs. Now let's learn what to do with our mind. The nudity of the octopical couple sporting and tantric union reminds us of the vulnerability so crucial to watching the antics of mind that is the mindfulness hidden within each inhalation and revealed by the demonstrative pronoun this. The late Tulku Thondup explained that mindfulness was simply watching the antics of mind. We could watch them vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. Watch what? Watch mind's perceptions, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, including emoting, intending, reasoning, recalling, and imagining. The easiest way to do all of these simultaneously is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. The late Tulku Thondup, let's try this again. The late Chogdud Tulku insisted that meditation was simply relaxing into the nature of mind. By silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we wind up releasing that which we perceived during our previous inhalation to such a degree that they could fleetingly feel a trifle less solid, less permanent, and less defining. But this will end during the next inhalation, but that's okay. We are just dancing with our body's hardware that has evolved for both awareness and release. And by cooperating with these mechanisms, we experience greater peace and greater love. Good morning and welcome to our early morning practice. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist chanting, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist meditation, please type your question in great detail in the chat window. Do not wait till the end of the live stream. Rather, strike while the iron is hot. For by the end of the live stream, my brains will have transformed into tapioca. To keep track of our second set of 4 collections. So let's try this again. To keep track of our second of 4 collections of our left hand's 8 sets and our right hand's 8 repetitions. We could work with our ring knuckles. Allow me to show you precisely what that means. Over the span of 8 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb thusly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Over the span of 64 breaths, while counting sets of 8 repetitions, we could advance our left thumb thusly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sets, 8 sets of 8 repetitions for a total of 64. To keep track of this, our second collection of 64, we could rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger upon the tip of our left ring finger and allow palms up so that our thumbs could happily count creases. Is this a trifle complex? Yes. But repetition is the mother of skill. Coming to these live streams once every 12 hours, and within a week or two, you can master all these techniques. Now, working with our ring finger, as I've just demonstrated, could gently invite our subtle energies to coalesce in the navel region of our mid-abdomen. Now that we know what to do with our fingers and breath, what are we going to do with our mind? Please chant with me. The translucence of the all-good father and mother depicted in paintings reminds us of the fleeting experience of impermanence and non-graspability. So common to relaxing into the nature of... take 2. So common to relaxing into the nature of that is meditation. Hidden within each exhalation and revealed by the monosyllabic verb ease. The most efficient way to practice mindfulness is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation. Doing so helps us to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly and fleetingly mind's antics of perception. Seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, such as emoting, intending, reasoning, recalling, and imagining. It has been said by the late Chagdud that meditation is relaxing into the nature of mind. When we silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, we release what we perceived during our previous inhalation to such a degree that it could fleetingly feel a trifle less solid, less permanent, and even less defining. Welcome to this morning's early meditation practice. We're at the halfway point, and we're standing at the precipice, at the edge of beginning our third collection of our left hand's 8 sets and our right hand's 8 repetitions. Here's how that plays out. In a gym, we might count 3 sets of 10 reps. Right now, we're going to play with 8 sets of 8 reps. We, over the span of 8 repetitions, we could advance our right thumb thusly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we count sets of 8 repetitions upon our left hand. 1, 2 sets of 8 repetitions. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 8 repetitions. That's a total of 64. We are going to count our third collection of 64. We keep track of that by resting the right knuckle at the base of our right middle finger upon the tip of our left middle finger in our lap, palms up so our thumbs can happily count creases. Is this kind of ungainly? Yeah. But repetition is the mother of skill. Come to these live streams once every 12 hours, and within a week or two, you could master each of these techniques. Working with our middle knuckles thusly, we gently invite our subtle energies to coalesce at the heart region of our chest. Please chant with me. The beauty of Kuntu Zangpo Yabyum reminds us of the highest love, which is not the product of contrived focus or analysis, but rather the spontaneous side effect of a mindfulness and meditation that calm our anxious and aggressive amygdala and stimulate our anterior cingulate gyrus. So let's take a few minutes to explore the neuroscience of meditation. Sturgeon's. I'm gonna use some. I think some visual aids. So I'm gonna hit tap button 5, and hopefully push the right button over yonder. Sturgeon's law reminds us that 90% of everything sucks. Now, what could that suckiness look like? Here in late-stage capitalism, most of us have been conditioned to be rigid, fearful, superstitious, controlling, elitist, cryptic, competitive, and cruel, and to actually denigrate the practice of being flexible, loving, rational, laid-back, egalitarian, lucid, cooperative, and kind. Consequently, it could come as a little surprise. Actually, I want to make sure that the audio was working, so I'm going to go back to number 5 and test the volume. There it is, Cowabunga. Okay, let's go back to 9. Whoops, wrong button. Okay, here we go. Boom. So, it therefore should come as a little surprise that 90% of the teachers will implore their students to actively focus and actively analyze, and they will call that meditation. Now, the only parts of our central nervous system that are wired to do those things are the discrete pathways found in such regions as our medial prefrontal cortex or our dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. Overuse these areas and it will trigger our almond-shaped amygdala, the seat of anxiety and aggression. How darkly ironic is it that in the name of peace and love, we set out on a course of action, or we are told to set out on a course of action that will actually generate the opposite experience. Fortunately, The prefrontal cortex and the amygdala are not the only two components of our central nervous system. Now, how's about some good news? Every time we inhale, whether we know it or not, we are already wired by evolution to automatically access the sympathetic nervous system ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord. This bad boy has evolved to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, which I'm sure you can tell is the opposite of the rigidity of concentration. What have we observed to evolved to notice? Mind's antics of perception. You know, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, smelling, and the like, including emoting, intending, reasoning, recalling, and imagining. Now you can say, dude, if that's the case, why do I need to meditate at all? Good question. And here's the answer. Due to our conditioning here in late-stage capitalism, where we are constantly threatened with the peril of hunger and homelessness, or not being able to afford medical procedures, we are so stuck in our cerebral cortex that we pretty much ignore what's going on with our sympathetic nervous system. But here's the cool thing. When we silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during our inhalation, it induces our cerebral cortex to cooperate with our sympathetic nervous system, which is pretty cool. But what do we do with all this stuff that we noticed? Enter meditation. Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, we automatically access the parasympathetic nervous system, divided between the lower third and the upper third of that same spinal cord. This parasympathetic nervous system has evolved to support both physical relaxation as well as mental release, to the point that what we perceived during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel a trifle less solid, less permanent, and less defining. Now, this is fleeting, and it dissolves by the time we take our next inhalation. But it helps us to let go. In fact, by silently and mentally reciting the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation, the practice of mindfulness and meditation can give us 3 benefits. We'll look at 2 of those benefits right now. Number 1, it calms our anxious and aggressive amygdala. Number 2, it stimulates our anterior cingulate gyrus, which functions as the hub of our mirror neurons, the seat of empathy and compassion and love. This is what makes us beautiful. Not the symmetry of our face, not our jawline. Our heart makes us beautiful. Let's meditate. Okay, thank you for your patience and welcome aboard. The key to mindfulness is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation, that vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly we might better notice mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination. The key to meditation is to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during each exhalation, that we might so efficiently release what we perceived during our inhalation that it seems fleetingly less solid, less permanent, and even less defining. Let's meditate. Good morning and welcome to our early live stream. We come now to our fourth of four collections. I should say, we come now to silent meditations, fourth of four collections of our left hand's 8 sets and our right hand's 8 repetitions. We will keep track of this fourth collection upon our index knuckle. Now, that's all very cryptic, so allow me to explain to you what that means. Just as in the gym we were taught to do 3 sets of 10 repetitions way back in junior high, similarly, on our right hand we can use our, let's phrase it this way. Over the span of 8 inhalations, we could advance our right thumb thusly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On our left hand, over the span of 8 sets of 8, we could advance our left thumb thusly. 1 set of 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 8, for a total of 64. We keep track of our fourth collection of 64 by resting the great knuckle at the base of our right index finger upon the tip of our left index finger in our lap, palms up so that our thumbs can happily count creases. Now, did this seem a little opaque? Yeah, but repetition is the mother of skill. Come to these live streams once every 12 hours, and within a week or two, you could master each of these techniques. Doing so with our index knuckle gently invites our subtle energies to coalesce at our crown. Together, the stability with which sky blue Samanta Bandra sits, and the abandon with which cloud white Samanta Bandri sports, reminds us of the scented spontaneity with which our choices, utterances, and deeds could flow in the effortless effort of the sixfold of the Buddha's eightfold path. The most efficient way to practice mindfulness is to silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this during each inhalation, which facilitates noticing vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, enabling us to observe mind's antics of perception, emotion, intention, cognition, recollection, and imagination automatically. The most efficient way to practice meditation is to silently and mentally recite the one-syllable verb ease during our exhalation. Doing so causes us to release what we perceived during our previous inhalation, to the point of that which we perceived feeling fleetingly, feeling a trifle less solid, less permanent, and even less defining. And this, just like the pendulum of a grandfather clock, swings from one extreme to the other. We swing from perception to release and back again. It is embracing this flow that makes us the peaceful, loving people that our dogs already think we are. Let's practice. Who we are is not determined by what we feel. Who we are is determined by what we do with what we feel. So whether we find this interesting or boring or pleasurable or painful or glorious or grotesque, if we just notice and release, then we're doing A-okay. We now switch gears from silent meditation to mantra meditation. In preparation for that, let's chant an explanation of the 12-syllable mantra. Together. I invoke teachers on loving action, on mindfulness and meditation, as well as the Hung view supporting release that the Benzatantric Guru teaches Pema enlightenment, density abilities who may be mastered by all. So during our inhalation, we silently and mentally recite relaxing into this. During our exhalation, we physically relax as best we can while striving to chant this 12-syllable mantra 3 times per breath. So each finger represents one breath, and each set of creases represents one repetition of the mantra. Om Ahum Minzaguru Mema Siri Hung Om Ahum Minzaguru Mema Siri Hung Om Ahum Minzaguru Mema Siri Hung Mahung Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hung. Om 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 Mahung Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hung. So, one moment. Let's go over to, this is me 49. Let's go over here. Let's hit copy. Control G, 49. Paste. Fabulous. Okay, so we've already practiced Mahayoga's wisdom warm-up. We practiced Hatha Yoga's silent mindfulness, silent meditation, and mantra meditation. And now it's time for Mahayoga's compassionate cool down, which is also known as mantra loving kindness. For loving kindness comprises 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. Please chant with me. Rather than indulge or controlling tendencies with all forms of active visualization, magic, visualization, emotion, magic, and belief, we could just recite these kind words in harmony with our breathing and allow our subconscious to do the heavy lifting. Let us therefore sidestep the rigidity that confuses metaphorical statements literal, and relax into the flexibility that savors the chance explaining metaphors as similes. To keep track of our 6th of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions, we could touch the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left little finger and rest this left hand upon our left thigh, thus gently inviting our subtle energies to coalesce in the bladder region of our lower abdomen. May we be a font of blessing for all upon who we think or who think of us. May all minds of all beings know be as peacefully enlightened as the mind of a real or imagined Buddha symbolized by Yatikle, one syllable, zero, bija, mantra, lucidity, and void. Now we take all these words and allow them to coalesce into just 6 syllables that we divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. Om Ahum Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hung. 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 mazirihum. To keep track of our 7th collection of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions, we could touch the tip of our left thumb to our left ring finger and rest this left hand upon our left thigh, thus gently inviting our subtle energies to coalesce in the navel region of our mid-abdomen. May we be a font of blessing for all who we listen to, speak to, or speak of, and for all who we listen to. And for all who listen to us, or speak to us, or speak of us, together. May all relationships, all speech of all beings know be as joyfully loving as a real or imagined Buddha speech symbolized by a multisyllabic mantra resounding yet void. So, and during our inhalation, we silently and mentally recite these 6 syllables, which are a loving wish. During our exhalation, we physically relax as best we can while striving to chant this 12-syllable mantra 3 times per breath. Om Mahum Minzu Guru Me Maziri Hum. 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 The interpersonal morality of kind communication is the 3rd fold of the Buddha's 8-fold path, just as kind intention is the 2nd fold. To keep track of our 8th of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions, we could touch the tip of our left thumb to the tip of our left middle finger, then rest this left hand upon our left thigh, thus gently inviting our subtle energies to coalesce in the heart region of our chest. May we be a font of blessing for all who we touch or who touch us. Together, let's chant. May all bodies or forms of all beings know enjoy the beautiful health represented by Buddha statuary, depicting the blissful body of a real or imagined yet dominant archetype of enlightenment, sensual yet void. This word may does not infer a supplication to an imaginary entity. Au contraire, this is simply words that we are using to guide our own intention. We now take all these words and allow them to coalesce into just 6 syllables that we divide between our inhalation and our exhalation. During our inhalation, we repeat those same 6 syllables of love, loving intention. During our exhalation, we physically relax as best we can, while striving to chant this 12-syllable mantra 3 times per breath, for a total of 4 breaths. Om Mahum Benzu Guru Me Maziri Hung. 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 To keep track of our 9th of 9 collections of our right hand's 12 mantra repetitions, we could touch the tip of our left thumb to our left index finger and rest this left hand upon our left thigh, thus gently inviting our subtle energies to coalesce at the crown of our head. May we be a font of blessing for all who we see or who see us. Let us wish great good fortune for all beings everywhere, including the complete liberation from the tyranny of the cruelty of others' sexism, racism, Islamophobia, homophobia, exploitation, classism, fascism, jingoism, and genocide. Please chant with me. May all circumstances or lots of all beings know have the safe fortune or boon. As a Buddha's real or imagined paradise, pure land or party appearing yet void. Om Mahum Benzu Guru Me Maziri Hung. 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 The circumstantial morality of kind commerce is the 5th fold of the Buddha's 8-fold path. Oh, fellow geeks, don't panic, for the meaning of life, the universe, and everything is 42. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 2 2/3 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's mid-morning meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.